It's flashing. The flashing light. So it's going.
It's going.
Thanks for joining us on another car ride of a Family Through Service, a V2VG podcast.
And you did it backwards.
I did it backwards.
You screwed up.
I screwed up, but kind of not.
Yeah. You know, it was only a matter of time.
A dyslexic screw up. So we're headed to the pet store in St. Jay, which we had great luck with last time.
Yeah, you know, well, you've been doing fish tanks for quite a while. You're more of an enthusiast than Everett and I. And the first set of fish we got pretty much died within the first 24 to 36 hours. So we went to this one together, which is different from the one Everett and I went to. And
the one in St. Jay.
Yeah. And she was far more I mean, she was like running that place by herself, and she was
literally by herself.
A young lady, like probably in her early 20s.
20s, I would say.
And she was super knowledgeable.
She knew her stuff, that's for sure.
I'll tell you, you know, she was dealing with, I mean, there were like 4 or 5 customers before us, and then we did each of our things separate, and she was just pleasant, knowledgeable.
Yeah, she wasn't stressed or anything. If she was, she didn't show it. And I asked for like 5 fish, and she caught them fast, which was, it's not always easy to catch fish, you know.
And mine, Everett and I, he got glowfish, so I was like, just give me like one of each color or whatever, and she came back with a good variety for us.
That's cool.
It was really good, so, you know, we're heading back.
So we're heading back, and this time we have 2 of our kids with us, Jacob and...
One of each of ours.
One of each of ours. Oh, yeah, okay.
See? And we were just having a conversation about the sun being...
in the cardinal direction.
Yeah. So, sorry to digress, but we literally were just talking about how much it sucks when the sun is in your eyes.
Which, and of course it's freezing outside. The car says it's -2, but that's without wind chill. So you can't crack the windows, and yeah. So there's that. What's up, bud?
My goal is to just see what's cheap.
See what's cheap, because you are establishing a tank now.
Yeah,
The cycle in the tank.
I'm thinking about getting like a bottom feeder,
Bottom feeder.
and then trying schooling fish, just something.
Some school
It
fish.
doesn't matter what fish, how big it is, as long as it's just cheap.
Well, it kind of does matter how big the fish are, because you can't put fish that are going to get too huge in a 10-gallon tank.
So what I would suggest is before you, like, once you look at prices of things, talk to whoever's there and ask them what bottom fish you would go with, what other type of fish you were thinking about.
Well, I think the corridors are a pretty good bottom fish. They kind of kick around the bottom. They're kind of cool. They don't get too big.
Are those like the algae eater type?
Yeah, they eat algae and you know, bits of food that fall and get passed. Yeah, the cool thing is, the problem with people who want to get bottom feeder fish or algae eaters is a lot of people will go for the very common pleco. You know, the suckerfish that you see stuck to the side of tanks. Yeah. The problem with that is they get massive, they get huge, and probably, in my opinion, and in other hobbyists' opinions, shouldn't be in the common aquarium hobby to start with, especially not in a small tank, because the common pleco and other plecos, they get kind of big. Yeah, so you got to be careful. Yeah, pretty big, and much bigger than what you'd expect, and you don't see them very often. And you'll be looking like, where's my pleco? And then you move something when you're cleaning your tank and go, oh, what is this armor-plated freaking fish? And it's your pleco, and you're thinking, I can't keep this in my tank. It's massive. So I think corridors are a nice fish to start off with to keep it
helps
clean.
To keep it clean, right? The tank. So that may be something everyone we should ask about if that would go good with the fish that you
have.
They
look like they're community fish, you know, and they look like. But the best thing, I think, your advice is good, Chuck, is talk to the people who work there, because ostensibly they know what's best for a new tank to get it you know, cycled, and you know, you do what you got to do. We got quick start and other bacteria balls and things to get our water good. And you know, the water in Littleton's pretty good. It's not heavy water or.
I mean, it's good drinking water in general. Not a lot of chemicals.
There's not a lot of additives to the water anyway to really mess with the fish. So it's less of a shock on the fish. But again, it's not. You know, the pH is nice and neutral for there, and you know, and I've tested the water and everything.
I think the temperature is probably one of especially this time of year, is one of those things to be careful about because
you definitely got to have your tank where it should be.
our house, we run it cold. Like our thermostat never goes above 62, 63.
That's cold for some tropical fish.
Yeah, so making sure you have a heater, and I know you guys have your house a little warmer, and that's because Jen's always cold.
That's genetically for Jen. So one of the things we're getting for you, Jacob, today is a heater for your tank, right?
Yeah.
We're getting fish, obviously, for your tank.
I want to get floating plants.
And you're gonna get some plants. I'm looking for some live plants for the aquaponics tank that what we set up. Yeah, because we have the hexagon tank, but that's established.
And that was a Christmas gift too, right?
Yeah, and that's the aquaponics tank.
Yeah.
That was from Big P and his wife.
And so Everett's tank was a Christmas present. It's something he'd been asking for probably about good 8 months before.
Yeah.
We're like, of all the things out there that are low, maintenance, fish have to be a good starting point for learning responsibility. And I mean, if you're not talking about specialty fish and 150-gallon tank.
Right.
And all that.
Fish can be as intense of upkeep or basically low upkeep as you want, low maintenance as you want them to be, depending on the species of fish you get.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get something as simple as a betta in a bowl on catch. And basically like do very little maintenance, or you can spend a lot of money and really go for it.
And you guys have a vertical tank. What
we
is
have
that? Is that a 15 or 20?
That's actually a custom-made tank that we got at a yard sale, and we had to reseal it and everything.
Yeah.
But it's actually, I think, 33 1/3 gallons. It's really weird. We had to get a top that didn't really fit, and customize it to fit, and all that stuff. And that's old. That's an old established tank at this point.
What I really like about that one is you have to do a little more research on the type of fish and the way they swim. Whether they swim tall or So
the water column is full, and we have live plants in there now.
Yeah.
Which help maintain the water. But that tank's a little bit more complicated to maintain because of the amount of water and because of the variety of fish. We have to keep the pH at a level that all the fish can enjoy, and plus the plants and all this stuff.
Now, is that heated too? Do you have a heater?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Absolutely, yes. We heat all of our tanks. We've always heated all of our tanks.
Yeah, because I think ours is, what's the heat have to be at? It's like 72 to 82. Yeah, so that's relatively high temperature considering what our room temperature is. So we have to be aware of those things.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely something to consider. The car is like frosting up. It's really weird.
Yeah, I figured with us talking, it would not be.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, so
it's like hot in here, but the window is like barely, I can barely see out of it.
Yeah, it's strange.
I think when we get to the not the aquarium, the pet store, I'm going to leave the car running to get rid of all this content. And the ice is on the inside of the car. Yeah,
so if you see the camera rolling around, it's not special effects, that's us.
It's us rolling.
So
that would make for great viewing.
Right? It'd be
Nancy, I won't be able to watch my mouth then.
Right. Or the video for that. Hopefully somebody's willing to edit it and put it on there.
It got colder. It's now -3. That's great.
So thus far this year we've had fun because I think we have started the year with our podcast video more fun. We're not attacking all these issues that every news and every TV network's covering.
And they're there.
And
let's be honest, they're there.
But it's nice that we're just having a little bit more fun and talking about just our everyday experiences and things we've run across and whatnot.
And there's that to do because we have lives, we have kids, we have families, we have things that are going on,
and more importantly, we don't have anybody to answer to, so we can do whatever we want on the videos.
So, we don't have producers that tell us what to talk about. We are our own producers, which it gives us a little bit of freedom. But and also you're putting things on Rumble, which is nice.
Yeah. So we're trying. It's not to have any issues other than just to explore the multiple platforms that are out there because when we did the video, I believe it's called My Corona. We got flagged for that one.
Yeah.
And
just because we were talking about the coronavirus.
So we just want to make sure
content be damned. You know.
And that, I mean, we personally, of all the amendments, first two are our favorite to debate in positive of.
Yeah.
And so when someone says we can't do something, we like to challenge that.
It kind of rubs the bristles the wrong way.
Because we're no longer in the military, Like,
what do you mean you can't? Like, why can't we?
Well, in the military, you got to take your orders, and sometimes you have to accept the stupidity that is your superior, or
or the whole situation. Yeah.
But we don't have to do that anymore. So if someone challenges that we can't do something, we're going to push that much harder to try and
do it.
Especially if there's nothing wrong with what we're putting out there.
Or just ask for an explanation of why not.
Yeah.
So it's definitely fun. But I like the fact that we're able to do fun things and stuff. And 2022 coming up for Veterans2Veterans Group is going to be, I think, probably a more fun year because we are more established now. We're more well known. We have a robust treasury, robust enough to not worry so much about our client cases because we're not changing our levels or our strategy. But we have enough to do what we need to do and look forward to doing some more R&R type things with clients, perhaps.
Yeah. And I'm looking
in addition to what we do.
To our semi-annual meeting with our board.
Yes.
Because I feel like it's going to be a little bit more nitpicky, which to me means we have grown beyond the generalities of an organization.
Yeah.
But we're also going to spend a lot of time on new policies, new concepts, possibility of a new platform to do a website.
A revamped website from scratch, actually.
We have these things that we wouldn't even consider last year.
No.
That we're like...
Because last year we were still involved in, I would venture to say, the fundamentals of the organization.
We were still trying to find our internal niche, who was going to do what, and you, myself, and Jen had many hats, and we still each have many hats to wear. But we have new board members since last January that joined that have been willing to take on responsibilities to lessen our load so we can focus on the minute detail,
It's kind of like polishing a stone.
Yeah.
Not to say that we won't continue to grow, but just to say that we will
but this is going to help
kind of fine tune.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so that's nice. And, our kids are always involved in our events. So with more information coming out about COVID and these other things, maybe we'll be able to have a more lucrative summer than we were able to last year.
And you've got through the budget stuff so we can apply for more grants and more money to do more things for our clients, and not just for the direct aid, which is our bread and butter, of course, and frankly their bread and butter, but for, like I was saying, for more R&R stuff, which is also
nice,
a wing of V2VG that we haven't really been able to tackle quite as much, especially because of COVID for the past 2 years.
Yeah, everybody's has their federal, state, and then their own internal policies. But one thing I'm looking forward to doing this year, hopefully, as long as you got to go right.
I got to go right.
That you had
this
idea of last year, and we couldn't even entertain it, was during Memorial Day weekend to do cover the parking meters down Main Street. I think this year will be the year to do that.
I think that'll be fun, right? And put our little logo on there and say, look, don't worry about parking on Main Street for this week or whatever, a couple days, because it's we got you covered.
Yeah.
And that'll get us more.
Plus, we already work with quite a few of the businesses on Main Street, so it's going to be a continuing cycle, which is going to be nice.
Right. And I think that's fair. So there's a lot to look forward to.
Yeah. And what we could do is if we try and do an event that weekend as well, all the stores that are open, we maybe get flyers put on the doors or whatnot.
Yeah, why not? There's a lot of opportunity for us to continue to do the things that we need to do and to reach out to people who need help. And it's going to be a fun year. So look out for some exciting things that we're doing to help people who need help and to help us continue to grow.
I'm excited for it.
Let's go get some fish.
Let's go get some fish.